We did not find a cave. We found a living sky. 500 meters underground. It was raining inside solid stone. The scientists went missing. We recovered their bodies. Their clothes were bone dry, but their lungs were flooded, not by water, but by petrified, crystalline mist. The weather grew inside them, a biological storm in their chest. We cracked the ribs open. Glowing jade vapor escaped. The cloud had eaten them. Do not turn away. Watch this file until the end. Because the cave is exhaling, and by the end of this tape, you will never breathe again without looking at the fog. In the mountainous heart of Wulong Karst, the ground does not merely hold rocks. It traps atmosphere. In September 2013, an international mapping expedition discovered the true scale of the Er Wang Dong cave system. It was not just a network of dark tunnels. It was an isolated, subterranean ecosystem spanning over 35,000 meters of surveyed passages. But the real horror lay in the giant chamber known as the Cloud Ladder Hall. A void so immense, measuring over 50,000 square meters, that it has trapped its own fully functioning weather system. When our forensic meteorological team first lowered pressure sensors into the deep shafts, the instruments went haywire. The barometric pressure inside the Cloud Ladder Hall did not align with any known surface patterns. It fluctuated with a rapid, violent rhythm, dropping 20 millibars in a matter of seconds, without any change in the weather above. This is not a natural atmospheric shift. The air inside Er Wang Dong is being mechanically compressed and decompressed, forcing cold, dense surface air to collide with the warm, moisture-saturated draft rising from the deep, geothermal hot springs below. The result is a perpetual, stagnant fog that never dissipates. A thick, heavy shroud of condensation that smells of sulfur, ancient moss, and wet clay. As we stand on the edge of the abyss, our thermal cameras capture a terrifying sight. The clouds do not drift. They pulse. They swirl in tight, unnatural vortices, as if driven by a giant, invisible machine buried deep within the bedrock. The human body is built to survive under the weight of one atmosphere. Inside Er Wang Dong, that survival is measured in minutes. Our forensic team recovered 3 bodies from the upper ledge of the Cloud Ladder Hall. They were experienced caver cartographers, equipped with advanced breathing apparatus and dry suits. Yet, their corpses showed signs of extreme barotrauma, usually reserved for deep-sea divers who surfaced too fast. The forensic examination of the primary victim, a 32-year-old male, revealed massive bilateral tympanic membrane rupture. His eardrums had blown outward, not inward. This indicates a sudden, catastrophic drop in external pressure that occurred faster than his middle ear could equalize. But the most chilling discovery was in the lung. When the pathologist made the primary incision into the pleural cavity, there was no rush of putrid gas. Instead, we observed a thick, gelatinous jade-green fluid filling the entire respiratory tract. The lung tissue was hyperinflated, heavy, and completely hepatized, mimicking the pathology of severe drowning. However, chemical analysis of the fluid showed that it was not groundwater or rainwater. It was an ultra-dense, hypertonic solution containing high concentrations of calcium carbonate, organic proteins, and a strange, self-replicating crystalline structure. The victim did not drown in the lake. He inhaled the cave's cloud. The dense, saturated mist had condensed directly inside his alveoli, crystallizing into a solid mineral matrix that choked off his oxygen supply. The weather inside the cave had literally turned his lungs into stone. In the upper world, clouds form when water vapor condenses around microscopic particles of dust, soot, or sea salt. Inside the sealed darkness of Er Wang Dong, the clouds are seeding on something far more sinister. We deployed high-volume air samplers into the heart of the subterranean in-cloud layer. Our goal was to isolate the condensation nuclei, the core particles that allow these massive underground storms to form. The results of the mass spectrometry were deeply disturbing. The cloud droplets are not built around inorganic dust. The core of every single water droplet is a microscopic, rod-shaped organic structure, a highly specialized, extreme environment spore that belongs to an unclassified phylum of subterranean fungi. These spores are coated in a thin layer of hydrophobic proteins that actively attract and bind water molecules at a molecular level. This is a form of biological cloud seeding. The fungus, which we have designated the Er Wang Dong hydromorph, does not rely on wind or insects to disperse its spores. It has evolved to create its own rain. By releasing millions of these highly active condensation nuclei into the warm geothermal draft, the fungus forces the moisture in the cave air to condense, creating a heavy, localized downpour directly over its colony. The rain that falls from these underground clouds is not pure. It is a warm, oily deluge that carries a faint, bioluminescent jade glow. Under the ultraviolet scanners, the entire chamber of Cloud Ladder Hall looks like a dripping, neon-lit slaughterhouse. The walls, the stalagmites, and the bodies of the lost explorers are all coated in this living, pulsing slime, feeding on the mineral-rich runoff of an artificial monsoon. The sound of Er Wang Dong is not the silence of the grave. It is the deafening roar of a jet engine trapped in a stone cage. As we descend deeper toward the active river level, the air pressure drops again, and a low-frequency hum begins to vibrate through the soles of our boots. We deployed acoustic arrays along the narrow siphons where the underground river disappears into the deep crust. Our sensors recorded an infrasound frequency operating at precisely 7.8 Hz. This frequency is known as the Schumann resonance of the Earth, but here it is amplified to a devastating 115 decibels. At this volume, infrasound is not just a sound. It is a kinetic weapon. It causes immediate, uncontrollable vibration in the human internal organs. Our team members experienced extreme nausea, vestibular disorientation, and a terrifying sensation of chest compression, as if an invisible weight was crushing their sternums. The forensic analysis of the acoustic data revealed that this sound is not generated by the random movement of water. The narrow siphons of the cave are structured like giant Helmholtz resonators. The rushing water of the river acts as a hydraulic valve, pushing pockets of compressed air through the twisted limestone tubes at regular, repeating intervals. It is a massive, natural siren, a colossal whistle that plays a single, low-frequency note that resonates through the entire mountain range. The sound waves are so powerful that they create microfractures in the surrounding calcite, causing constant, localized rock falls. The cave is actively using sound to sculpt its own throat, widening the passages and ensuring the continuous, violent circulation of its toxic atmospheric draft. By the 8th day of the investigation, the military presence at the surface had tripled. All civilian access to the Wulong Karst area was revoked under national security directives. Our forensic logs, our atmospheric data, and the biological samples we extracted from the victims' lungs were seized by heavily armed security teams. The official government reports stated that the 3 explorers died of hypothermia and accidental falls due to dense fog. They filled the main sinkhole entrance with 30,000 tons of reinforced concrete, claiming it was a safety measure to prevent further unauthorized exploration. But our covert satellite telemetry tells a very different story. The concrete plug was not designed to keep people out. It was designed to keep the atmosphere in. Our final, classified barometric readings showed that the pressure inside the sealed system was rising exponentially. The respiratory cycle of the cave had changed. The inhalation phase, which used to take 60 seconds, has slowed down onto a massive, agonizing 5-minute draw. The cave is holding its breath. And deep within the sealed concrete barrier, our subterranean microphones are registering a new sound. It is not the low-frequency hum of the river siphon. It is the sound of wet, rhythmic scratching, the sound of millions of mutated spores germinating within the dark, pressurized concrete, slowly turning the artificial stone into soft, porous lung tissue. The storm is building, and the mountain is preparing to exhale.